WWE's Hall of Fame was a couple nights ago, but we didn't really know the Legacy Awards until the day of. So we're doing this a little later than we were expected to do them. But it is good to talk about it nonetheless. But before we go into those Legacy Award inductees, I do have to unfortunately bring up the situation with Bret Hart at the Hall of Fame. To that idiot that did what he did, I honestly hope that he is locked up for a very long time. Because for those that are unaware that what happened, just for those that didn't see it, because the feed did cut off when that did happen. As Bret was giving his speech and talking about his longtime patenting partner, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Natalia, of course, accepting on behalf of her father, Bret was, I believe, in a story about how the Hart Foundation was being made as a tag team combination. And towards that point, some fuckhead just goes and grabs him around the waist, at least from the fan footage that I have seen from it. Tried to grab him around the waist, tried to take him down, and several superstars jumped the ring to make sure that Bret was first and foremost okay, and to basically beat the shit out of this guy. Fucking stiff him and just do what you gotta do in that situation. Which a majority of the roster, if they were able to, would have done it. We would have seen the whole roster go up there, but a select few, of course, Braun Strowman. Bret got a few shots on him as well, on the guy. But just off the top of my head, Drake Maverick was there. Braun was there, Seth Rollins, maybe the New Day. I'm not 100% sure. I had to go back and watch it again. But there was a bunch of people in the ring towards the end when we had the footage back, or had the feedback, excuse me. And it, the speech went as normal, but unfortunately Bret was hospitalized as of that. But of course, as we saw at WrestleMania, he was okay. We saw him at the Hall of Fame portion of it, and kind of getting Natalia and Beth to the ring in a way at WrestleMania for the tag match. So he was fine. But I do have to stress, do not ever do that. You are at the Hall of Fame. When I went to the Hall of Fame personally, it's more of a respectful event. You can do chants and shit if you want, but it's more of a respectful thing for these people that have literally bled, sweated, cried, bled again for this business and for our entertainment, first and foremost, and let alone the dues for this business are very hard. You're on the road pretty much almost every day of the year, at least a majority of the year, every year. Their bodies go, and on top of that, on top of all of this, the fact that you have it in your head to attack a guy who's already had a stroke several decades ago, you think it's a perfect opportunity just to do this. I honestly hope that the format for the Hall of Fame goes back to a staged format next year. The ring was a nice touch, but it leads to incidents like this happening if security is not in the right places. They might have been, I don't know. We don't not know the circumstances. All we know is he got through them, and if this was on a stage, this wouldn't have happened. So, thankfully Bret's okay though. That is the good thing to take out of this. With that being said, let's go through the Legacy Award people. And it's a great class of people that, I'm sorry, I'm just a little flustered because of this whole situation. When I saw this firsthand, it's ridiculous that this even happened. But nonetheless, the show did go on, and the show must go on in a way. First off, we have Bruiser Brody, one of the best, I don't know if you want to say a technical brawler, because he could go a little bit in there, but just a fucking barbarian of a man. A guy you wouldn't fuck with for sure. But and honestly had a great career, honestly. Was all over the place. You know, I mean, you saw him in Japan, Puerto Rico, of course, some places in America. Of course, Houston was a great melting pot for Brody as well. Politically, in the wrestling scene, when I say politically, I don't mean our current political climate. I mean politics in the business. Brody was one that played it for a while, and that unfortunately was part of his undoing. We'll get to that in a little bit. But had a hell of a career that would put him in any Hall of Fame in the world, quite frankly. For All Japan Pro Wrestling, the NWA International Heavyweight Championship, which, if I'm not mistaken, is part of now, what is now the All Japan Triple Crown, held that 3 times. The PWF World Tag Team titles, which were unified to become, I believe, the All Japan Tag titles, I think. Once with Stan Hansen. The World's Strongest Tag Termination League won their tournaments in 81 with Jimmy Snuka, and 83 with Stan Hansen. The January 3rd Corrigan Hall Heavyweight Battle Royal 1979. The Champion Carnival Fighting Spirit Award in 1981, and the World's Strongest Tag Determined League Exciting Award with Stan Hansen in 82. For Central States Wrestling, their heavyweight title and their tag title once with Ernie Ladd. From Championship Wrestling from Florida, their Florida heavyweight title. For the George Tragnos Lou Fez Hall of Fame, the Frank Gotch Award in 2008. For the National Wrestling Federation, their international title once. For what was big time wrestling but became world class, the NWA American Heavyweight Championship, which became the WCW World Class World title 4 times. The NWA American Tag Team title, which became the World Class Tag title 3 times with Kerry Von Erich. The NWA Brass Knuckles Championship, the Texas version, 8 times. And with the Brass Knuckles title, it's kind of self-explanatory. You taped your fists in a way. Well, you could do it either way. You could tape your fists, or you have brass knuckles on your hand and go towards until a knockout, or in some variations, a pinfall or submission. Basically, I would say a precursor to the hardcore title. If you were to evaluate this title, I would put it like as the hardcore title of its time for those newer fans, for that to make sense. 8 times of that as well. The NWA Texas Heavyweight title, which became the World Class Texas. No. Excuse me. Yeah, the Texas Heavyweight title. The Texas Tag titles, which became the World Class Tag title 3 times. Once with Mike York, once with the late great Gino Hernandez, another great name, and Kerry Von Erich, and of course the World Class Television title. When we come back, we will go into that more of his career.